Image, and I am Teresa. Welcome back. This is just me playing around with some Tim Holtz stamps and inks. I got inspired. Apparently, Tim made a demo, gosh, last week maybe. I will link it in the description box below, but he was using various inks, stains, stamps, etc., um, and rubber stamps to, make really pretty backgrounds and colors on paper, etc., doing Tim things. And I was like, oh my gosh, that looks so cute. And so I said, all right. And I picked out a rainbow of colors here and some polka dot stamps. And I'm just directly applying. Now, these are the regular distress inks. They're not the oxides, FYI. Anyway, that's it. I'm just adding a little spritz of water because I want them to look kind of like watercolor. And they do. Look at that. And we're going to get a second impression there. Um, and I'm just, just using water and a paper towel. I'm going to clean that off because I want to do another set of colors. And first I'm going to dry it. But yeah, this turned out really cute. It's so cute. Can you tell I'm feeling cute today? Feeling cute today. I hope you are too. Okay, so yeah, and we're going to go and apply another round of color. This time I'm going to go with the warm colors. Yes, I know there was a little smidge of yellow on that last one, but this one's going to be yellow, orange, and red. So we've got our whole Roy G. Biv going on. A little spritz of water, and we're going to just put it right underneath and press down. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Oh, I love it. I love all the color. It looks great. Gonna get off all the excess. And I want to make sure to clean my stamp so that next time I use it, it'll look good. I also got a little tinge of green on my yellow, so I want to get that off of there. Okay. So we're going to put all these little guys back in their tin. There we go. I love those tins. They really do help keep me organized. All right, so we're going to make sure everything's nice and dry. And I'm not sure where I'm going to go next, so I look at some other stamps that I have. And I found my numbers, which I was like, ooh, how about some sets of numbers? So this kind of, in a way, mirrors the sets of dots. And I'm going to go in here and I'm going to use the sheet that the stamps came on as uh, like an acrylic block I would use. So just to keep them all in the right space. And I think it turned out really cool. So I'm using a permanent ink, the archival ink on top of the distress ink. That way, if I decide to go in with any kind of wet media later, the numbers won't go anywhere. And I'll just have to be careful with the dots. This is another set. This is from, I think, Echo Park, another set of numbers. And I'm just removing those little tiny letters at the bottom because I just want to make sure that I didn't get anything on there. So yeah, we're going to do another impression here. Now this one, apparently, I don't think I put enough ink on those numbers. That's okay. That's okay. Gives a little bit of diversity to this picture. We'll stick the little letters back on there. This is a great set. It's got two different styles, or two different fonts rather, and then it's got the little endings for second, fifth, etc. Cool stuff. Oh yeah, there we go. Looking good. Another nice thing you've noticed here on the left, I've been stamping off all the extra ink onto this page. I'm going to use this page as a background for something else later. Yeah, absolutely. Let's get as much use out of the ink as possible. All right, so now I want to do a tiny set of numbers. And this one is still kind of embedded in the rubber stamp block that it came with. So I'm going to put them here on this acrylic block. and I'll have to line those up. The nice thing about this block is it has a grid on it, so I can line things up and have it be centered if I need to, or in a straight line, or whatever it is I need, which is great. And we'll get all these little numbers lined up. There we go. It's not perfect, but you know what? We are not perfect here. We are doing what we want, and we're doing what feels good. All right. Oh, yeah, look at that. So now I've got a bunch of sets of numbers too, all different fonts, different amounts of ink, which was unintentional. And now I'm gonna put my focal. Actually, I'm gonna do some other stuff first, but that's gonna be my focal, that cute little girl. That is something I found at an antique store. You can find all kinds of old photographs at antique stores, and they're typically pretty cheap. Some places have a huge markup, but eh, I feel like if you're buying a big lot of something, then you could maybe get a deal. I don't know. It never hurts to ask. Here I'm going in with some Dylusions paint, which is pretty transparent. I added some water to it to make it even more transparent. I just felt like this needed, a border of some kind. And plus, I don't know, I really like teal. Just gonna mop up that extra ink or paint rather with another page, so that'll be used for something else. Um, yeah, I don't know. It just needed some zhuzhing, as Tim Gunn would say. What's Tim Gunn up to these days? I don't know. I haven't seen him on TV in a minute. I hope you're well, Tim Gunn. I know you watch all my videos. I wish. All right, so now I'm going to dry all of this page because the next thing I'm going to do is use a little glue to put my photo down. Or am I? I'm trying to remember. Let's see what I do next. What do I do? The mystery builds. Oh, maybe, maybe nothing. Oh, there we go. I was digging for a stamp. But before we use that stamp, we're going to put a smidge of gesso on. And we're going to use my non-dominant hand. That's right. So I'm taking my left hand and smearing gesso just randomly, just to kind of, you know, de emphasize some of the color and the bold numbers. Because what I really want to stand out is my photo, right? And we don't want to have our background competing with our photo or our focal image, whatever it is. So, yeah. And we're going to pin that down because it really started to curl. It's got a lot of media on it at this point. Okay, now we're going to use my big zero stamp. That's a Hero Arts stamp. I love this stamp. I'm using embossing ink because I'm going to go get some embossing powder in just a minute. I was like, what else can we add to this page? I want to give it a smidge of texture and dimension. And you can do that with some embossing powder. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. So I've prepared my page, my sheet of paper underneath to catch all the powder. And I'm just going to pour some powder over all the places where I stamped the O or the 0, whatever you prefer. And now we're going to put all the excess powder back in the jar. And this is, I think it's called eggplant. Let me see here. Yes, Adirondack embossing powder in eggplant by Ranger. It's a beautiful dark purple. And right now I am using my heat gun to activate the embossing powder. And basically it's just melting and turning into a beautiful high gloss. So yeah, I'm really chuffed with how this turned out. It looks good. All right, so now we have some bright purple, super glossy O's on this page. This page just has an overall like happy childhood kind of feeling to it, which I really like. I was like, it needs one more thing. So we're going to add some tiny little black spatters in carbon black. This is an acrylic ink from Liquitex, and I'm just using another brush. It's really hard to see it on the video, but I promise there are beautiful little spatters all over the page in a nice deep black. Okay, so now it's time to put our focal point on. I'm going to use my tiny distressor tool here to rough up some of the edges of this photo, and I'm going to go around the edges with the archival ink and jet black as well, just to make it very distinctive and stand out. And we will adhere it to the page with our art glitter glue. I'm going to use paper towel so I don't get fingerprints all over the photo. It's an actual photo. And yeah, I'm just going to do a little quick scribble border, because why not? And this is it. Yeah, this is a super quick page. I had a really good time making it. I hope y'all enjoyed watching it. And thanks for being here. I'll see you.